Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm Mike Perez with Mike on Audio, and welcome to another episode of Take 2 for Soundstage Solo. In this video, I will take a pair of headphones that a Soundstage reviewer had already reviewed and provide my opinion on how I felt they performed when I took them for a spin. Kind of like a second opinion. Now, if you want to check out the more in-depth written review and measurements by Brent Butterworth, which he did on the 20th of December 2022 on soundstagesolo.com, then head down to the description below and the link will be provided. Let's dig into the Crosszone CZ-10. Let's begin by stating that these aren't your standard closed-back headphones. Brent told me they featured a particular technology and he wanted me to study it, so I did. I want to go over this technology before we dive further into the review. According to the manufacturer, the CZ-10s use acoustic resonance technology and acoustic delay chambers to generate a spatial sound field and a wide soundstage. However, the technology seems more like crosstalk cancellation, which is a way to reduce the interference or bleed over of sound from one audio channel into the other. It's kind of like trying to listen to music or watch a movie, but you can hear other sounds mixed in, like people talking or background noise. Crosstalk cancellation is a technique that helps to separate these sounds. It makes it easier for you to hear the music or movie, whatever the case may be. It's like turning down the volume of the background noise so you can hear the main sound more clearly. That's about as simplistic as I can put it. But crosstalk cancellation is important in hi-fi because it improves the overall sound quality and clarity, allowing the listener to better distinguish between different audio channels and enjoy a more immersive listening experience. So, I have no experience with this type of headphone or technology, so for me it's a really cool adventure to explore what this really does, and if in fact the sound does set itself apart from other offerings within its $999 price point. There are 3 drivers per earpiece: a 23mm driver for high frequencies, a 35mm driver for low frequencies, and another 35mm driver that carries a filtered version of the opposite channel in reverse phase, which I suppose is how they accomplish the process I had just mentioned. Crosszone is not well known in the US, however they are quite popular in Japan, where they are designed and manufactured. Japan has a strong tradition of attention to detail and a desire for perfection in all aspects of life, including audio, well actually especially audio equipment. This is reflected in the high standards that Japanese audio manufacturers hold themselves to when designing and producing equipment. Some of hi-fi's greatest hits have come from Japan, so the bar has actually been set kind of high for expectations of sound quality for these headphones. Crosszone provided a nice luxury feel to the packaging and unboxing experience. These weren't brand new in the box, but I appreciate that Brent did his best to create a nice experience for me when unveiling these beauties to myself. The first thing to stand out aesthetically was the sleek minimalist design. I love the black with the gold accents. It gives it just a luxurious feel. I really enjoy it. When I picked them up for the first time, I was amazed at how unique the design was. It fit on my head really easily. Adjusting the size was super smooth. Unlike others that click into place, this one just kind of smooth, you know? The box does include a 4-foot 8-inch cable with a 3.5mm stereo plug on one end and a 3.5mm stereo plug going to each earpiece on the other end. That cable's for portable use. However, an 11-foot 4-inch cable with a 1/4-inch plug on the source end is also included and intended for home use. This is the one I got because they're the US distributor's personal sample and it's the only one it came with, so this is really, really long. The cable itself is a bit generic. I felt it would have had some type of fancy covering for the price. You know, that was disappointing because regardless of the quality of the cable on the inside, the outside just doesn't feel like quality. And aesthetically, that is my only qualm with, you know, the initial presentation. I plugged them into my Cambridge Audio DAC Magic 200M, a very capable DAC and headphone amp combo I use for all my headphone evaluations. Just, you know, to keep the source consistent. It's plugged into my PC and I use Qobuz as my streaming service of choice. There are a couple of tracks I use as reference to test certain qualities of the sonic presentation. The first is Radiohead's Everything in Its Right Place and Yoshi Horikawa's Bubbles. These 2 tracks alone can tell me straight away what type of sound I'm dealing with and if whatever I am evaluating meets my initial expectations. My first impression of these headphones was that they were incredibly neutral. If you're a bass head, these are not the right cans for you, but I did notice that the clarity was quite nice. It provided an adequate soundstage, and I did notice how the left and right channels were like 2 separate entities rather than the mash of sound from other headphones headphones. The bass was tame, but it was present. The top end gave plenty of detail and clarity without overwhelming my experience. The only opportunity I found for these headphones was the mid-range. It was a bit forward for me. However, if your goal is to own a pair of super neutral headphones that do not colorize the sound, then I would recommend these. Now, do I feel they are worth the $999 price tag? Aesthetically and mechanically, yes. I like the way they look and I like the way they feel, and they're just cool. Sonically though, I would say these would probably fall into like a $400 to $500 price tag for me personally. My Hi-Fi Man HE5 SE headphones bested these sonically at half the price. Granted, they don't look as good as the Crosszone, but they did a better job with the audio part. I know Brent was enthusiastic about these headphones, and by reading his awesome reviews, I learned a lot about headphones, and I learned a lot about his personal listening style. I don't think these are flawed by any means. They just didn't satisfy certain characteristics I like with my headphones. To be fair, I have yet to find a pair of headphones that truly satisfy my personal listening style. So I don't want you to think I am being too hard on the Crosszones, because they are remarkably neutral and aesthetically gorgeous. Thank you all for joining me today. You can find more information in the description below. If you enjoyed the review, I encourage you to like and subscribe to the Soundstage Network's YouTube channel. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching. This is Mike on Audio.